What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Blackout, back at it again with another Assetto Corsa video. We are continuing on our Endurance Series Championship with Audi. I think it's Saint Loc Racing from France. Speaking of France, we are going to be racing at Circuit Paul Ricard, which I am proud to say is the worst track by far on this entire calendar. Paul Ricard is a complete eyesore, and I've only raced on it in F1, so I don't know if there's going to be a different reconfiguration or not, but I guess we're going to have to see. So if you're new, like, subscribe, share, comment, all the goods, and yeah, let's hop right into it. So right off the bat, going into Q1, turn 1, we completely misjudged the corner, and yeah, we basically corner cut into turn 2. So if that doesn't show you that I hate this track and I don't have any experience on it, I don't know what does. So obviously this is going to be different for me, because I have no real practice on this track, and that's mainly because I guess I got lazy and I didn't practice. So I only have the 2 practice sessions, which are each about 10 minutes long, and I took the time to have a visible racing line on for those practice sessions. And then once qualifying came, I turned the line off so that I can get practice going without it, so I don't have to use it as a bit of a crutch. Now, you've heard me say it before, I hate this track. This is the worst track on the calendar for me, and I just think Paul Ricard is a complete eyesore when it comes to just the repeated blue and red lines and just how painted it is. I don't like it. And I don't know, for me it was just super confusing to judge where I should brake, due to the fact that there's a bit of a lack of boards, like those brake mark boards, and it was just really hard to judge where I should be turning. And what's even worse, I feel like, about this track, or not worse, but more of a difference as we go super wide going off the final corner and just completely misjudging it, is that this race goes from day and then it goes to night. So this will technically be my first ever night race in this game, which I think is very cool as we go off track again, and that's an invalidated lap. But yeah, this was my first night race. Goes from day to night. So since it's new to me, I will be giving my thoughts about it on the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. Back to the qualifying session though, here we go through the turns 5 and 6, but here is where we go off just a little bit, and that just completely invalidates that whole lap. So we weren't able to get a full lap on the board. I mean, we did get like about 4 or 5 laps of trying and continuously working on getting a full and validated lap, and validated, not invalidated lap. But those laps were all invalidated. They didn't count. We were over track limits way too much, and yeah, so I think we're guaranteed last at this point. Thankfully, though, the leaderboard here tells me what I want to try to accomplish when it comes to the next practice session, going 33, 33, and 52. Here, however, is where we actually log in our first real valid qualifying lap, going into the final turn, and we get in there cleanly, and we're going to cross the line at about 2 minutes and 2 seconds, about a tenth faster than the previous time that was shown at the top left, and that was only good enough for 15th, but now we're 16th as we missed turn 2 completely right there. But overall, I think this shows that our overall pace, and I mean, we skipped it right there because honestly, we weren't really going to make that turn. We ran way too hot. But we're down to 18th now. I mean, I think we're just continually dropping. But this kind of shows how our qualifying pace is going to be come maybe even racing day. And so adjustments are going to have to be made coming the next qualifying session. Now, this is going to be our final qualifying lap, as you could tell, with about 45 seconds left on the clock for the session right now. And straight line speed, I think, is going to be our strong suit when it comes to the race in general. We have very strong straight line speed, and I mean, cornering could be a little better, but straight line speed is definitely where it's at. Now here is where we could have had a better one, but unfortunately we brake a little bit too late. We brake at the third marker and we basically spin. We spin out and our lap becomes just completely invalidated. So very disappointed there. That could have been the lap. Mistakes were made, and unfortunately we live and we learn, basically. So what I wanted to do here was actually practice my pit lane entry. And here it was first try, and we actually did really well. We were able to get in with the correct pit lane speed, which is 30 miles per hour. And I believe we had a good turn in, possibly. I forgot, so I'm gonna look at the screen here and see if it was correct. Yeah, pretty much. Nice stop too. Like that was a really good pit stop. I'm not gonna lie. Overall for Q2, we would get 19th with a 2-minute 2, but we were able to get a 34, 33, 54, fastest in the second sector, which is exactly what we were hoping for and what we planned for. It's a small improvement from Q1, but it's a big improvement, and that is exactly what we always strive for here on this channel. Now, I believe I haven't shown everybody the full track layout, so we're going to do a quiet lap here, and yeah, enjoy the beautiful roar of the Audi R8. Alright, so that is the full track layout for Circuit Power Card, and we weren't able to improve very much, but I take it as a W. And see right there, you see right there, 33 seconds. 33 seconds. We were the fastest in Sector 2. And I've told you, we have the straight line speed, which is exactly what we strive for. Now, obviously, our combined is going to put us in probably last, mostly to the fact that we didn't even get a lap done at Q1. And yeah, there it is. We're last. That's okay, though, because we have the speed, and I believe we could definitely get up there as a midfield car. All right, so y'all know the drill for those who are returning. 1 hour race. No mandatory pit stops here, however. It is just required that all drivers must run at least one stint. So, that's the only requirement. Other than that, it is just straight racing. This is an exciting lap, this first lap here. So I'm going to be quiet, sit back, and let you guys enjoy this first lap around Paul Ricard.
Green light, go, go, go. Car on the left. Clear on the left. Car on the left. Clear on the left. Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
So that was really fun. That first lap was easily probably one of my favorite first laps of the entire series, let alone maybe even the entire time I've played Assetto Corsa. I mean, we split 3 wide going down the long straight between the Audi and the Lamborghini. We almost could have gotten a three-way when it came to passing. But I had to brake a little early to let the Mercedes by, so that I wasn't going to brake late and spin him off track or get into him and lose pace. But overall, we got a really good lap, and for the most part, we played chase when it came to the Mercedes in front of us. I didn't want to be too aggressive because if you saw my last one at, what was it, I believe Silverstone? Yes, Silverstone. Yeah, we didn't do too well. And we were way too aggressive just in the start of the race. So, what we're going to do is we're just going to play chase, stay in line, and if we have more momentum than the car in front of us, then we will make a move. So, yeah, overall, I mean, come on. I just want to go back to that 3 wide coming down the straight of of the race. I mean, that was amazing. That was definitely like top tier right there. Like that was easily like the best and coolest thing that I've done throughout my entire career of playing Assetto Corsa. Easily, that's something I'll definitely remember for a while. Here though, we didn't make up any positions. However, we did gain a lot of time, but it didn't matter because this was our end of the first stint for our first driver. So we're going to enter pit lane very slowly, and it worked out pretty well overall. And we are going to go and change our tires, and we are going to do our best overall. So this was our first pit stop for our first driver. We were doing driver changes at this moment, so it was going to be a pit stop. So engine stopped. We're going to do some changes. We only did tire changes so that we didn't have to do any fuel at the moment because, I mean, we're pretty good on fuel. We have about 16 laps worth of fuel. So we don't have to fuel until later on during the race. Alright, so we're off of pit road now, and we're going to be behind quite a few people. Which is okay though, because we're gonna do our best and try and get shit done, you know what I mean? So here's something that I think was a big dilemma, and it was our tires. And as you can see at the bottom right, of course, it's the most visible, showing the 4 greens, symbolizing the tires. The PSI was at 20, and that confused the fuck out of me because it should be at around 25, 26, 27, that mark, because that kind of gives us optimal grip at that. However, it was stuck at 20, 20.5, 20.6. It was around the 20 to 22 PSI mark, and I was very confused at that because that was really going to hinder a lot of our process and really going to hurt our race pace overall. As shown here, where I go really wide to the point where I'm off the track. And I don't know if it was a complete skill issue or what. I mean, we go kind of sliding right there, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it was a skill issue of me just completely forgetting my braking points or my brake references, but we get passed by the Ferrari, who is also in our class, so pretty crucial to the championship. But I mean, it only seemed to get worse from here. I mean, look at that. Like, we're off track again, and I just don't understand it at that point. It was really confusing on my end. Here was another instance though. Car coming out of pit lane, and we almost kind of run into them, but we also missed our braking point by a lap, and so we kind of force ourselves to cut the track, but we kind of give the position back so that we don't gain any kind of warning or penalty of any kind. And yeah, so that's kind of how this stint went. We're at 21, 22 PSI as of right now, but it's bad. It's really bad. And it only just seemed to get worse from here. As the Lamborghini that came out of pit road recently, along with the Lexus of another class, we go off track and we get passed by the Lamborghini, and the Lexus is fighting us for another position. And yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. We just cannot seem to find grip whatsoever with the car, and it's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating because we had a really, really strong start. I mean, we gained a lot of positions. We went from 20th to about 13th, maybe even 12th, and we kind of lost all that ground again because our tires just cannot seem to see right here again. We missed turn 1, and I was really kind of confused. I didn't know what was going wrong, and I just kept falling back like a rock. So we were about, 13th, I believe, after pit lane. And now that we are no longer there, we get passed again by the Lexus, and we're 17th. So we dropped from 13th to 17th in this stint, and it is just becoming more and more frustrating as our driver stint is ending in maybe a few laps or so. We get past the Lexus with our straight line speed, but it is just a matter of can we keep that position for the rest of the race. Now, I didn't believe we had a race-winning car, unfortunately. A lot of this comes down to strategy. I mean, here we kind of forced him off track a little bit, and I kind of kicked the cone just a little bit. Here, it's like we just don't have any grip. Like, we just cannot get the car to rotate or turn. I mean, we got a turn there, thankfully, but right here, we just turning way too early, and I mean, we still make it work, however, but I mean, it could have been a lot better to the point where we could have pulled away from the Lexus behind us and pulled closer to the Lamborghini in front of us. Yeah, it was upsetting, and it was just very confusing, this entire stint, and I was not sure of what I could do to change or make the car better. Right about here, though, at about 9 laps in, though, was our first warning. Our first warning for track limits. We kind of had a game of time there, and yeah, that'll be our first warning for track cuts, track limits, whatever you call it, and This just shows you how much of a disaster this race is slowly becoming for me. As we run the final lap of our driver stint before pit lane for driver change, the Lexus behind us gets the pass on us, and so yeah, it's like we get the pass. But here's the interesting part. So we're trying to get into the pit lane, but the Lexus glitches, and we're trying to get in pit lane. I can't really see, and we glitch again, and I don't want to go and completely smash my front end trying to enter pit lane. So it's like I get really frustrated, and it's like, you know what? I'm just going to keep going, do an extra lap at this point. I was extremely frustrated. Eventually, though, after this lap, we finally get around to getting into the pit lane. However, though, it was very costly as we are now last place. So we have some catching up to do, and I'm not happy about it. I'm very, very not happy about it. We could have had so much better position when it came to having better grip and not forcing myself to go another lap around instead of going into the pit lane. But I mean, you can't change it. You can't change it. And this is not Forza. You cannot just rewind it. Like this is Assetto Corsa. This is real sim racing at this point. So, you know, mistakes are done. So you just kind of have to live with it at this point. Now, ever since trying to get the grip from the last stint, we really haven't been able to catch up. And the sun is down now, and we are going to be coming in for our next pit stop. And yeah, we haven't caught up to the car ahead. The cars ahead are in pit lane now, and so we're going to go ahead and change the tires. And will we add fuel? I don't believe we'll add fuel, but here we're going to actually do our driver change now and get that done, as well as tires. Yeah, we're just going to ride out the rest of this race and try and catch up the best we can. But there's really nothing we can do at this point. We're way far behind from last place, second to last place, and yeah, just an overall really disappointing performance so far. Fast forward into our next stint, however, and everything else. I mean, just look at the beauty of night racing. It's so beautiful. I mean, we almost collide into that Audi right there, and there's a lemon in front of us. However, but this is the beauty of night racing, in my opinion. And I mean, look, it's amazing. It's magical. And honestly, this was like the highlight of my race, was just being able to race in the night, regardless of if I'm just all alone trying to finish the race or not in last place. This was the highlight of my race, because this was really magical for me. And this was something truly amazing to see. I mean, yeah, it would be really cool to see it in person, but I'm broke, so I really won't be able to do something like that in person, because I don't have the money and I don't have the necessities like the racing license and all that. But if this is the closest I will get to true night racing, then I appreciate every single bit of it, because this is really cool and I love it. This is absolutely amazing to see. And with that right here, this will conclude, I believe, to be our final, no, not our final stint. I believe we still have some fuel to get. Yeah, we still have some fuel that we need to do some refueling. As you can see right there, we have about 4 laps of fuel remaining, with about 10 minutes left of racing. Will we get there all the way? I mean, it's a gamble. We're going to take this big gamble right here and actually try to pit, make this our last stop. And as we kind of completely missed that turn 3. But as I was saying, we will try and take the gamble and finish this race on fumes if we can. Now with about 40 seconds left, we actually have 0 laps of fuel left, and we're going to can we possibly try and finish this race? We are currently 14, as cars behind us have taken their final pit stops of the race, and we're going to try and hold them down so that we can possibly get through this entire race. But however, looking at the fuel that we have left, we are at about 0.6 liters left, and unfortunately each lap is about 2 liters of fuel, and yeah, we're just not going to make it. So at this point, I kind of had realized what was going on and what was happening. So unfortunately, we had to give it up, and we wanted to finish this race, which was more important. So we had to come in for fuel. Yeah, just overall, really disappointed with how this race went. I think we could have done a lot better. Had it come to the PSI of the tires of the second stint, I think that we would have had a better race overall. But unfortunately, we can't change the past. That's just rule of not just racing, but rule of life. So we live with it. We live and learn. That's all we could do. That's all we could do at this point. And to add insult to injury, as I'm exiting, the leader finished the race. So yeah, that just adds insult to injury and just makes me feel so slow to the point where it's like a fucking Honda could beat me. And yeah, this was a horrible race overall. Kind of disappointed with myself. And this begs the question: Am I just a really terrible driver, or did just circumstances come into play that really brought me here? Let me know in the comments if you're here, if you stuck around to this point, I should say. And yeah, so we're gonna fast forward toward the end of the race to the finish line, where the fireworks you see above you are not for the winner, more for me finally getting my slow ass to the finish line. So here we go, across the line, 26 seconds behind 19th, behind a fucking Honda. So yeah, that's the end of this eyesore of a race. I mean, I hated this track from the beginning. So, I mean, I have myself to blame for this. But yeah, we were 125 seconds behind the leader of the race. And, I mean, yeah, obviously we gained 0 points. And we gained 15 points in our current championship with the Pro-Am series. But yeah, this was a race definitely one to forget, because one, I hate Paul Ricard. I hated it from the beginning, before the race even started, and two, it just felt like a mix of horrible driving on my part and just circumstances I couldn't control on the other. Okay, so here at this point, we're going to focus on the Pro-Am and winning that championship, because the overall championship, we are not winning that when it comes to the end of this championship, this endurance championship, because we've done horrible. So we're going to focus on winning the Pro-Am championship. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry for the horrible driving. If you see it that way, I did my best. If you want to continue to see more, please like and subscribe, share, and comment your thoughts down below. Next race, we are going to be at Spa. So this is a track I know best. But yeah, thank you guys again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, man.